Welcome to Daxue Talks, a show powered by Daxue Consulting, a China-based strategic market research company founded in 2010.
I'm Julian. I'm the CEO of Genius Insight. We are the leader here in Asia regarding LinkedIn services. So we help our clients to get more leads and more clients through LinkedIn. And besides that, with Thomas, we also run a community here in Shanghai called LinkedIn Local Shanghai.
And I am Tamar Hella. Thank you so much for having us. I am the COO of our agency, Genius Insight. So Julian and I are business partners. I founded the chapter of LinkedIn Local Shanghai. And if anyone's not familiar with what LinkedIn Local is, it is one of the largest professional networks globally centered around LinkedIn. And it's become so large that LinkedIn started governing us last year as volunteers. So in our community, we have about 3,000 members in Shanghai. However, globally, it's in over 100 countries and 1,100 cities. So it's quite an important network globally, and it's been amazing to see how it's grown in the past 3 years.
LinkedIn ads are much more costly than, say, Facebook or Google ads, and tend to drive less traffic. How does LinkedIn ads differ from Facebook, and is it worth the costs?
Facebook, it's the same. All the pay advertising, obviously there is a way to get a return on investment. But here we come back to the fundamental of what is marketing. Did you target the right audience? Did you deliver the right message? And obviously, if you do that, and the more you're going to be pre-sales on your avatar client, and the more you're going to have results. Let me give you an example. I used to do e-commerce and creating my own e-commerce website, and I run a lot of Facebook ads. It's true. It really increased the cost. It was incredible. It was harder. There was more competition. But again, it's innovation in the advertising, because my branding was better in comparison to the competitor, or better videos to show the product. Then it was still okay. I was still making money. And at the end of the day, when you run a Facebook ads campaign, it's what you have to see. Well, for LinkedIn, the strategy is kind of different. I would say definitely the best kind of advertising you can do. To give you an example, it's, for example, big universities that want to try to sell you MBA for 50,000 euros. But definitely, this is a great place to advertise for them on LinkedIn. Why? Because you have all the high executive, and generally it's not the individuals that finance for the MBA, but it's the company itself, right? Why? Because this is, again, a way to get retention on the employees. Okay, I'm going to send you in Chiaotong or, Harvard for your MBA, and you're going to stay 5 more years because we need you. It's just an incentive. Education is just like that. So yeah, for education, it really works well. It's the greatest in minutes. I would advise, again, a webinar. People will register definitely. And again, the audience, we have to keep that in mind. If I want to do a webinar to explain to the architect in Dubai that China is a great place, right, to develop new project, and we are kind of consulting company that we have a new project over there. The webinar is the best way. I won't target these people on Facebook because they are not active, right? So definitely, it depends again. What you have in mind, what is your objective? So yeah, LinkedIn ads, it's definitely very, very efficient, and it's complementary to all the weapon, if we can say like that, because prospecting, it's a war, and you have to use a different weapon for the different objective, right? And in the art of the war, again, you have the content creation to bring your target to you. You have the sales navigator, but LinkedIn ads, it's a complementary, right? Because the more people are going to see your ads, And the more they will think of you and they will take action and they will give you more credibility. Let's say after the ads, you are going to talk to them personally, right? Via adding connection and sequence of messages. Then that makes sense. Oh, I've seen your ads. So yes, it's again like a complementary tool, and can be definitely efficient, but not for all kind of businesses. That's why for our agency, we really are careful when a lot of people actually are super excited with LinkedIn ads. You are right on that point. Some businesses, being honest, is not worth a return on investment, but for other like education, definitely it is.
What are some good ad targeting tactics for companies in China who are marketing globally?
Great question. So you want to be super, super targeted. So even if you're in China and you're looking for companies that really want the B2B kind of services or activities, you can't go global, because otherwise you're going to spend so much money on the ads, and at the end of the day, like, your results are not going to help you measure well. Because again, with advertising, it is a long-term game, and you have to be careful with your money spent, and you have to have the right data to clarify and then know when to shift and pivot. So that's why I personally like doing A/B testing once I've really niched down and targeted. So for example, when I used to run LinkedIn ads, we did a lot of A/B split testing, and we super niched down. Like, we knew exactly where these targets were. We specified with the language. So again, too, like, people in China need to be careful with the language. Like, do they need to target in the local language of that country, or does it need to be international English? You need to know like the job title. So you don't want the interns finding your ads. You want the decision makers, the people with money. So again, think about the title. And then when you're doing the A/B split testing, this is more for like the really small squares of ads that you'll see like to the right of your home feed on LinkedIn. You want to think about language, and you have a really small amount of characters that you can put in. So the nice thing about A/B split testing is you can test the language, and that's really what it comes down to. You can definitely do like a little image, which is great, but test more the language, not necessarily the image, because then you'll understand how those targets are reacting. So for example, when we're talking about language and we're talking about attracting people through ads, you want to understand your demographic, if they are the kind of people who run towards pleasure or run away from pain. And when you know that, then you can formulate the structure of the ad. So for example, if you're targeting people who maybe want to get better, cheaper products, like tech products in China, they're going to be running away from the pain of paying too much locally. Okay, so you want to use language that is saying things like this can save you money, or it's more efficient, or lower cost. But if you're talking about other services or other industry, you know, where people are going to earn more money for doing something, or they're going to have like a better return on investment, that's running towards pleasure. So you want to use language structured in a pleasure format, and that's where you can really test the A/B kind of stuff and see the demographics that you're getting. Also, I would say, like, if you don't use an A/B split testing, again, you still want to be super targeted and segmented so that you can have enough data. Let's say you run a campaign for 14 days. You want to be tracking everything and then know if it's time to shift. If you do it too short, it's not going to give you much return on investment, and it's not going to give you enough information. And that's why, again, like, if you're only targeting the West as a business in China, it's too broad. So really think about the specific targets, their language, their culture. Definitely, like, you'll have to, if you don't know this already as a company in China, you're going to have to bring in some experts who can at least do a little bit of market research for you. And then finally, you need to think about the language, because language is everything in advertising, and you only have like 3 seconds kind of to make an impression. So the simpler and more compelling the language is, the more successful it'll be.
How to optimize ad retargeting on LinkedIn.
For retargeting is very simple. You really have to think on a two-step funnel, okay, when you create your campaign. So first, let's say, okay, the user gonna see your ads, will visit your website, but won't take any action, okay? But the cookie is gonna be stored with the user, and then, okay, again, the user will see when he will browse his internet, your remarketing ads, and will revisit again your website, and maybe will take action to fill up your form or your booking calendar. Because sometimes, okay, we visit, but we don't necessarily are aware, or our time was very limited. So that's one of the greatest example on how you can use retargeting. The two-step funnel definitely work well, and it's one of the strategy actually we implement for our clients. Yeah.
Any questions? We will find an expert to answer them. Drop your questions in the comments or send us an email, dx@daxueconsulting.com.